Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel Ray and today is Saturday the 9th, I think, of January. And this is my video where I talk about cross-stitch and knitting each week. It's called Flosstube. I just adopted the name that I've seen other people use on YouTube. And I forget what number we're on, but y'all. It's been crazy. I mean, in general, but also just at the moment, if you are just joining me, hi, welcome. My name is Rachel. I go by Rachel Ray on the internet, and this is my crafty channel. This is kind of where I update everybody on the crafts that I'm doing. I also talk at length and in detail about my own personal struggles with my mental health and depression. And so if that is something that you are interested in, I would highly recommend that you check out my playlist about WIP and Chat. WIP stands for Work in Progress. WIP, W-I-P, Work in Progress. So in those videos, I kind of talk more about my personal life and how I'm getting on, because for the last few years, I have struggled with my mental health, and I just started to get medicated a few years ago, and I'm kind of working it out, you know, and life is a journey, and that is something that is, it's something that we have to continually work on. You're never gonna, you might hit a perfect spot, but you're not gonna stay there forever, you know. It's not like the old idea of like retirement. Retirement was the golden egg or the carrot at the end of the stick. Now that's all that is. There, it is not attainable. Anyway. Anyway, woo. In these videos, I will share opinions, and I do tend to get chatty, so if that's not your thing, then there are other channels as well. I hope that you go and enjoy all that YouTube has to offer for all of its creators, and the good thing about it is that you can change at will, but I can't, because I'm just a person. So, with that friendly reminder out of the way, I will start with cross stitch today and then talk about knitting and all the knitting progress that I've made. But first, I just want to touch on something that was very important this week, and which I personally have struggled with, and I just want to air my feelings. So if you don't want to hear about what happened on Wednesday or my personal feelings on it, then you can skip ahead and have a look at where I hold up a cross stitch piece, okay? But hear me out for a second. Coffee. I am currently the caretaker for my grandparents. I am administering medication, following timetables, and acting as an at-home nurse, basically, for my grandfather who's dying of cancer, and my grandmother who has dementia, and she struggles with giving him medication. They are Republican, and I am moderate but Democrat. However, we have been polarized for a long time in my own personal family, and I'm talking about my family, okay? So don't come at me. And in the last few years, I noticed that my grandmother, especially, has become more and more hateful. And I think that it became apparent that it was because of media. Whatever she was watching or consuming was making her angry. And I think it's really dangerous, because anger, when it's not founded completely in truth, can destroy people. And anger in general can destroy people. But what happened on Wednesday was a whole pile of stupidity. And honestly, quite embarrassing. Because we all know that if the people who had protested after the rally on Wednesday in Washington, D.C., those who had gone to the Capitol building to continue, and then proceeded to go into and destroy several rooms, invade people's personal spaces, steal their mail, and not to mention kill people. All of those things are a black mark on American history because those things could have been prevented. This is why it is so important for all of us to be involved in politics. I feel personally that I made the mistake when I was younger to use my privilege to ignore the power that I had as a voter, as a citizen of my own country. And I find that this is, it could be my generation's problem. And it's especially a white problem. Being apathetic is uniquely a white problem, and that is privilege. Now I understand that it's so important that everybody have a voice and everybody be able to get involved with government. It's not something that should be ignored, and it's not something that you shouldn't be involved in just because it's difficult to have those conversations or because you think it doesn't matter. It absolutely does. This shows that it does. And I think that apathy came from somewhere. Possibly 9/11. I'm not going to lie. 9/11 was a huge changing point in my young adolescent life where I didn't understand anything, and so I thought that it didn't matter if I understood anything. And now I understand that that's not okay. We need to have these conversations. If those people had not been Trump supporters, if those people had been supporters of Joe Biden, well, first of all, I don't really think that would happen. But secondly, it's hard to even imagine a situation where people, it doesn't even matter if they're opposite, people in general. Let's go back in history a little bit. The people who were considered hippies, if they had come in, they would have been tear gassed and shot with rubber bullets. If the people had been Black Lives Matter protesters, even if they were peacefully protesting and not storming a building, they would have been tear gassed and shot with rubber bullets. It's in the history, like it happened, right? Recently, last year. So when I saw the news and I saw that those people were being allowed to go in and that our Capitol building was invaded by people who were holding Confederate flags, it's literally the reason, it's the antithesis of what the United States' current democracy is about, okay? That's why it's such a big deal. And if you disagree, it's fine if you disagree, okay? Everybody is allowed to have an opinion. But, and this is a very big but, we need to peacefully talk about these things and talk about why we feel that they are bad, wrong, good, etc. However, it is really, really important, and I'm saying this as an overall statement because I think that if you have been with me for a long time, you already know, and I know this is going on 10 minutes. I support people, humans in general, okay? I am trying every day to be a better person. I'm trying every day to change the language that I use when I communicate with people. I am learning and trying to grow as a soul. That is my purpose in life. I am not religious. I don't follow dogma. I just want to be a good person. I want to be a good human to other people, okay? It makes it really difficult when you are trying to explain to people, or not explain, but trying to teach people who have a lot of hate in their heart. So, patience is important. I don't think that anyone is going to make any big changes by invoking cancel culture, which I don't, there's lots of problematic things with that anyway. But we need to fix it by fixing ourselves in the way that we talk to people. The internet is not a great place for this. So what I would recommend is that we try to do this in person, and we try to talk to people in person. And how I know that is because I have had many an argument with my family. We are very, very opposite in our beliefs because we come from different places. We come from very different backgrounds, and the method in which we were raised, even though they're the same people and they were raised by the same people and blah blah blah, the generations are different, and the way that we handle stress and things like that is very different. But tolerance is different too. And so it's really important for me to tell you that on this channel here, my channel, the one that has my name on it, it has, everything down below there. If you believe that what happened on Wednesday was okay or necessary or a success, or if you at any time said, we're making history today, if you think that it was okay, then it's not okay for me. And I would invite you to leave quietly. I'm not forcing you to go, but I'm just saying that I think that from now on, if what we believe, what I believe, and what you may believe are likely very different things. And what I'm going to say here may upset you. So I'm just saying, I believe that what Donald Trump has been doing is creating an anarchy on purpose. He is a dictator. And you can say what you want down below. This is what I feel, because I've never in my life seen anyone so divisive and so full of himself that he thought that it was okay to hold a rally before the electoral college votes were counted, to rile up his most dedicated followers like an evangelical pastor, and then release them, allow them, incite them to go do violence in our own capital, which has not been done since 1812. This hatred and this kind of disgusting behavior from a world leader is the final straw. I have not been okay with the things that he has done since before he was elected president. But this is just too much. This is too much. This is not representative of our government, of our democracy, and it certainly is not representative of the American people. That he represents, his core beliefs are a very small minority of the United States. And so for those of you who are my international followers, I hope that you can understand that this is just absolutely devastating to those of us who consider ourselves international ambassadors of Americans. We live abroad, and wherever we live, we're supposed to, like, you know, bring our values and our, ever since I moved away in 2010, you know, I considered myself an ambassador for America. All the good things about America, that's what I wanted to project and what I wanted to share with people around the world. And it has become more and more difficult because I've just been embarrassed. And I'm done. I'm done with being embarrassed. The United States is a fantastic country when it is done properly. And I think that I can speak for a lot of people when I say that I'm ready for 2021 to be the year where we become the role model for many people, not because of military or economic growth or whatever, but for tolerance, patience, understanding, for allowing people to speak freely, but not hateful. There's a difference. There's a big difference. All right, I'm getting off my high horse now. It's not okay. It's not okay. All right, you know what is okay though? Today is Saturday, and like I said, and I have been crafting quite a bit. And if you don't know, it's okay if you don't know, me and my grandparents are in quarantine. So my uncle tested positive, and my uncle stayed with us for 3 days and 2 nights. More recently, we found out that my cousin, his daughter, who he stayed with after us, has also tested positive. She's pregnant. She's not showing any symptoms, but he is. We have been quarantining since, oh dear, I don't even remember. Like 5 days ago. I don't know. And where was I going with that? I'm the only person that's showing mild, like, not even, I wouldn't, you know how there's different types of salsa, you know, mild, medium, hot, fire, whatever, mild symptoms. I have runny nose, sore throat, and no fever, thank God. And so for a long time I thought they were psychosomatic. Maybe they are. Hopefully they are. Hopefully none of us are going to test positive. We took our tests yesterday. My grandmother and I took our tests yesterday. My grandfather took the day before. So we'll find out if we have COVID. Appropriate shirt for today. Oh, and if you don't think that crafting and politics don't go hand in hand, I would highly recommend that you look into craftivism, because it's been around since forever. I mean, you remember that what's her name? Mary Burney? Is that her name? I know I'm getting her surname wrong, and I apologize. The lady who sewed the American flag. It's craftivism. It's activism. Crafty activism. All right. I don't think I get cut any further with this. I have tried to space out my crafting. Oh, this Q-snap is still very new. I've tried to spread out my craftiness this week with different projects because it's more exciting for you that way. So first up, I have the Winter 2020 Stitch Along from Stitchonomy. I got the material pack from Stitchonomy, Alyssa at Stitchonomy, and this is how far I am. This way. I just finished I can't even see. I just finished the trees, if you can see them. So there's mountains and stars, little houses, cabins, snowflakes, and then trees. And then there's going to be reindeer and more like Quaker style snowflakes. I love the color of this fabric. It's beautiful. And it's going to be long. So I'm trying to keep up with that as much as I can. It's not really working. I have thought so many times this week that I'm going to start a new project, but I'll talk about that in a minute. The other WIP, work in progress, that I have no finishes, obviously, is my Dark Queen of the Seas Stitch Along from Autumn Lane Stitchery. It is also a stitch along, and they release a new part on the first day of each month. I can talk. They release a new part on the first day of each month, and I am so close to being finished with her hair. I hope you can see. Oh, of course, the thingy is in the way. Sorry about the loose threads, but again, I am parking in her hair because it's ridiculous. I'll stand up so you can really see. This way. So I am now on the, what side is that? Left side of her head. I had to frog this part 3 times. This part right here took me forever. And I don't know what it was about it, but I eventually I worked from all different points. I worked from her elbow, messed up. Worked from her fin up, messed up. Then I think I went top down, and that's what fixed all that problem. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm going from the top down on this side of her head because I don't want to keep messing up. I think it's if I try to go bottom up and count, I mess up for whatever reason, because I messed up on her arm because it was bottom up as well. Maybe it's just the way that I read patterns. My eyes can't. But that's what she looks like so far, and I am in love with her. Isn't she pretty? I'm really loving it. So I think the next piece is over here, and it's going to be a piece of like kelp or seaweed and some coral over there. And it looks relatively easy in comparison to the hair, because there is so much going on with that hair. I did fix, I say fix, but I had a few half stitches here, but it kind of looked odd. It was distracting, so I made them full stitches, those highlights that I put in. And those highlights are really close to where some of the beads are going to go, so I don't know if I'm going to keep those highlights in later, but I just did it for my own personal well-being. I don't know, just because I wanted to. But I love her. She's so pretty. And I hope this time YouTube doesn't limit my ads because of her. I think it was because of her. If it's not because of her, it's because of what I said for the first 17 minutes of this video. Whatever. All right, so that's my Dark Queen of the Seas. That is on 28 count Bewitched fabric from Under the Sea Fabrics by Leslie. Leslie dyed the fabrics, created the bead pack, and put together the specialty floss pack as well, which you can still purchase from her. Okay. What I wish I were stitching on. So I have startitis. I really want to start the things, but one thing that I was thinking about starting this year is the Temperature Mandala. I'll put a picture in here. Temperature Mandala that I found on Etsy, and I can't remember the name of the person who designed it, but it's beautiful. And I have to really consider it because I have a lot of things going on. And I was like, Becky's Madness for Crafting, and I decided that we would do it this year. But she is feeling, from what I get from her videos, she's feeling a little bit overwhelmed with all the sals, and so am I a little bit. And there's just, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I can't go out to get floss, so. And I don't want to buy it in because, you know, I only have a few more days, and then I can go out and purchase floss. But you know that Michael's doesn't deliver floss. You can only pick it up in store. So let's look at something that I wanted to show you. The 12 Days of Christmas, or 12 Days of Harry Potter, excuse me, Chamber of Secrets box. This is from Forbidden Fiber Co. And y'all, I have really enjoyed this box. Like, really, really enjoyed this box. It was, in the end, like, originally I thought I would be able to do something a little bit more involved with it. But then, you know what? It became my own personal pleasure to open the little wrappings every day. One little skein a day. So I'm going to show you and show you all the colors today. So the first color was Moaning Myrtle. This beautiful gray and white color. All of my leftovers I'm planning on using in a scrappy blanket. The second color I have, which got dangerously close to running out, was Magical Me. Ooh, can't really see. Blues and greens. Oh, there's one color. There's some colors in here. That was Magical Me. Next up was... How does my brain remember this stuff? I don't want to show you the whip yet. Okay. Next up was Polyjuice Potion. Isn't that pretty? I love that one. Yellows and greens. And then we have... What was this one called? Was this one... Oh yeah. Fox, after the phoenix. Someone said that in other countries the names of the characters are different, and fox is not fox in other countries. Some other countries. It's interesting, very interesting. Then we have Parcel Tongue, which is a personal favorite of mine. I love greens and browns. I live in Ireland. Of course I love greens and browns. So that's that one. Very pretty. Parcel Tongue. Now, we are up to the skeins that I'm not currently at yet. So first up is Death Day Party. Wow. It does look like the color of the ghosts in the movies. You know how they had like that blue hue? They almost look frozen. Next is Ford Anglia, After the Car. That was, what would you say? Would you say that it was bewitched? Is that the right word for that? Isn't that pretty? I love those black speckles. Then we have When in Doubt, Go to the Library. Fantastic. Did you know, fun fact, did you know that in the movies, the library scenes were actually filmed in Oxford Library? And in Oxford Library, you're not allowed to take photos. Ask me how I know. Anyway, if you ever go to Oxford University and you check out the library, it'll look very familiar because you remember all those scenes with the books that like were chained up. Yeah. So that's really cool. Then we have, this is a funny one. What exactly is the function of a rubber duck? Which was one of my favorite Arthur Weasley moments, because he's always obsessed with everything Muggle, and it did make me think. I was like, why do we have rubber duckies? Then it is is it called Why Couldn't It Be Follow the Butterflies? So they have a picture of Aragog. Is that his name? The big spider in the woods in the Forbidden Forest. I really like this combination of colors. It's funky. Very different. Then, oh, and in there, where was it? I'm going to get my gifts out because there were gifts. And I think, yeah, it was the first gift was this little book of spells. It says, I can't really show you because of the front facing camera. It says Standard Book of Spells Grade 2 by Miranda Goshawk, and it's a little enamel pin. That was one of the gifts, because that's important because we're about to get another gift. The next skein of yarn is Dobby is Free, and you can't exactly see, but it's like got these pinks and creamy browns, and it's really, really delicate and pretty. And I know that they chose this color because it kind of reminds you of his flesh tone, I guess. I would love to have a spew badge, actually. I'm kind of sad. But with that came a little enamel pin of Dobby holding a sock. There you go. So cute. And he's like, so adorable. The last one I don't have wound up yet. I am unprepared. However, it's my arm got really tired from all that. This one is called Heir of Slytherin. Look at that. So pretty. It is really pretty. And with that came this beautiful charm. Now this is on this little piece that it's hanging off of is for phones, but this thing is heavy. Okay, this is made of glass, I think. And what it is it's Tom Riddle's journal and a basilisk tooth. Because at the end of the movie, Harry has to use the basilisk's fang to stab the journal. So the journal is a Horcrux. Yeah, anyway. So that was so cool. I was like, what? What a cool gift. Love it. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this, though, because it is mega heavy. But I would love to know who made it, because that is a really interesting thing. And I'm going to treasure that. That is really cool. So that's all of the Harry Potter colors that I got for the 12 Days of Harry Potter. So that was from, the suggested opening dates was from the day after Christmas until January the 6th, which is the 12 Days of Christmas. Traditional 12 Days of Christmas. And because we were supposed to celebrate after Christmas, not before. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's all religious stuff anyway. Right? So here is my current status of my shawl, which is really hard to show, clearly. Look how pretty. I love this. This portion here is based on a chart that it was made. And so I have just gotten to the halfway point of this section. So this pattern is going to continue, but using these two colors. So that'll be really interesting. And hopefully the Polyjuice potion will have its moment of shining, because fox is so prevalent in these two sections. And so all together, it is looking like this. Let's just stand up a little bit. It is very pretty, I have to say. The stitches in this pattern are a little bit advanced. I say a little bit, but I don't think it's for a beginner, because you'll have to look up several stitches and things like that. However, if you are an inspired beginner, I think it's a perfectly acceptable pattern to use. But at the beginning, I had some confusion, and so I would just highly recommend maybe having a friend help you. The pattern is called the Metamorph Magus wrap or shawl. This is the picture. It's in black and white so that you can't see. Wrap. Metamorph Magus wrap. And it is just stunning. I'm enjoying it a lot. And if I'm messing up, who's gonna know? Who is gonna know other than the designer, right? I'm having fun with it anyway, and I'm going to continue to work on this because it's making me happy. And y'all, if you follow Mislaid Pages, my friend Jessie, she always talks about this bakery. We went to the bakery, and I got this tote bag. Love it! Wonder City Bakery is amazing. If you live in Richmond or south of Richmond, check it out. It is in... Is it in Colonial Heights? Down there somewhere. All right, so that's that whip. And then, ooh, I forgot. I have a finish. I'll show you that last. La 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 la. Okay. My other knitting whip is the Season of Serenity shawl by Knit Joys on Ravelry. This is an Advent shawl, and I'm still kind of where I was last week because I've only done a few rows because I've been obsessed with the Harry Potter colors. So I'm here. I would like to do more on this, but you know what? I'm really into the Harry Potter thing right now. So we'll see. But it is really nice. It's just takes a lot more concentration. And I'm thinking that I may come out here and stay here today because there will be football games happening, and I am not a football person. I don't think you can tell, but this area that I'm filming in is my grandfather's old like den where he goes to hang out. We referred to it as the man shed because it has a lot of things that my grandmother does not like. Anyway, my finish. I might have to take down my hair, but look, I made a hat. So this is my first ever attempt at cabling. I think I messed up the bottom, but I don't care. It's so cool. This is I'm trying to think of what the name of the yarn is, but it's a worsted weight, like a bulky, not super bulky or chunky or anything. But the pattern is Casapinka's Ice Bunny hat. And I haven't steam blocked it or anything yet, so it looks like a child's hat. And when I put it on, it kind of makes me look like a kid too. I don't really wear hats, but it was supposed to snow yesterday. It didn't. It's cool. It's cute. I mean, it sort of fits. So I was thinking, because I'm lazy, so I was thinking I might actually do another little round of this here down below, and then it'll be a little bit longer because I kind of want it. I don't want to, Hats are not my thing, really. But I went ahead and I ordered a different yarn because this one is a little bit scratchy. I got it at my local needlework shop, which is Center of the Yarniverse in Ashland, Virginia. I got that in the pom-pom, and the yarn was on sale for half off. So I also purchased a cable needle and more pom-poms. So I might be on a hat kick soon. We'll see. So yeah, that is that's all of the crafty stuff that I have done aside from dyeing and painting this week. And you know, it's been a difficult week because I'm the kind of person that I internalize things, right? There are like two different types of people out there, right? There's the people who internalize their thoughts and feelings, and those who externalize. So I tend to think deeply and quietly instead of thinking out loud, unless I'm alone, and then I like to speak out loud to myself so that I can properly hear my thoughts. That's kind of why, I guess that's why YouTube is a good fit. And I don't think that it's fair, because it's kind of like, let me use a little analogy here. In the past, I have been an English teacher, an ESL teacher. I teach English as a second language. And there have been many times where I have taught in camps or summer schools where teachers, they believe that the extroverted children are the best students simply because they speak up. And I understand that language is a very external thing, you know, but sometimes students need time to process things, and they need time to reflect and genuinely think inside of themselves before they're ready to speak out loud. And I think that it's important that we also remember that just because somebody doesn't say what they want to say immediately after something happens, it doesn't mean that they don't have an opinion. It just means that they need time to collect themselves and say the thing that they mean to say. And so that's why, if anybody was wondering why I hadn't talked about or made anything, made an announcement or anything, that's just because it's the person that I am. It doesn't mean that I am afraid, because I'm not afraid to say what I mean to say, as you can tell from the beginning of this video. But it does mean that I just hope that if there's something that everybody can take away from this, it is just to be a little more patient with each other and be kind. Be kind to each other. Because it's been really tough. And for those of us who struggle with our mental health, sometimes we need a little extra time to think about and collect our thoughts in a way that works. So, just my 2 cents. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And thank you all for whoever is still here. Thank you for staying. I appreciate it. As you know, just a quick little, the rest of this video is just going to be personal. So if you're not here for the personal stuff, bye. But I'm going to be in my family home until the end of February, which means that my videos will be shorter and they will be fewer. There will be fewer and shorter videos. And I apologize, but there's not much that I can do. I hope that you understand. I'm sure that you do. But I just wanted to say it that way because I feel like sometimes, again, I get verbose and I go off on a tangent sometimes. But it's just that I feel like, not that I'm letting people down, but I'm letting myself down because I have these expectations of myself, and I want to be there, and I want to keep doing the things I do. But the reality is that it's hard taking care of people and finding time and finding a nice quiet space. Other than this may become my new space. This is a nice space, but I have a lot on my mind, and I'm dealing with some stuff and missing my husband in my home. You know, life is kind of upturned at the moment. So it looks like I'm wearing a hat. See, that's the kind of hat that I need. Yeah. Right, guys. Thank you so much. I hope that you have a fantastic weekend. I hope that you have an amazing week ahead and that you get lots of crafting done. And if you don't, it's okay. It's all right. There's always going to be weeks where you have more crafting and then some weeks where you have less, you know? Don't beat yourself up about it. We're all there. I am thinking of you, and I thank you so much for all of your well wishes. Please, if you're interested in anything that I showed, please check out the link Haven down below, or the whip list, where it gives you all the details about all the projects that I'm working on. There's also details about the Black Needle Society, of which I am a rep for them, and they just released a new box. So if you're interested, go check out the link down below. It's Frogwarts Year 2. I signed up. Yeah. So get your box. If you like Harry Potter, get your box. And like, no money goes to JK. So win-win. Right. Take care, guys. I'm gonna go organize something. Bye.